Go back to the first two games. I don't think Bucky wasn't completely healthy. Probably going into a couple games, not anywhere close to where he's has been and is now. I think that there's been some help defense in a lot of in some occasions. There's been some help defense, and that's opened up other windows for other receivers or people out in some routes, and that's part of the game too. And so when you look at it overall, it's some of the factors going into it. There's been some opportunities that we haven't connected on. Obviously, the other night we hit those. We hit them. We missed one of them. Slightly overthrown. He had a chance to make a play on the ball then. I think there's been some help defense. He wasn't as healthy in the first couple ball games. And then there's been some chance at times where either protection or quarterback's gotten rid of the ball a little quicker and before he developed into a route. So there's been a lot of things, but he's been productive for us. He's had a touchdown called back. He's drawn 4 pass interferences. So there's been those opportunities. And the other night, we hit some balls that we needed to hit, and that helped the process too.
How big an impact is Brewer being back, though? I mean, it seems like that sort of changes the focus of the offense back to a passing.
Well, I think with him being back, there's certain throws that Michael likes. It kind of fits into certain wheelhouses and those type things. But Brendan did a fantastic job across the board, and when he was in there. So I just think that the situation the other night, especially, Duke was a big, played a lot of man, didn't give a lot of help, and we were able to create some opportunities where we got some throws and we were able to connect on them.
How is Bucky done in the non-pass catching stuff?
I'm glad you asked the question. I really am, because it's something that we haven't talked a lot about. He's done a really nice job on the perimeter. Now he got off late on the ball the other night and didn't react to a situation fast enough that hurt us on the perimeter. But he's blocked the perimeter well. A lot of the outside runs that you're seeing, especially in the last 3 to 4 weeks, Bucky and Malik have really done a great job on the edge at the point of attack and in tighter alignments for him. He's been able to help on the defensive ends and climb up the linebackers and secure the edge, and so he's done a nice job. That's probably an element we don't talk enough about, but he's done a really nice job in that part of it. It's one area that he's worked hard to improve upon.
Xavier Burke played in the game earlier this year but hasn't played since. Is that an injury issue?
It is. He's had don't ask me to give you the type of injury, the name of it, but it's really a foot injury that we thought it caused him to miss a lot of our preseason practice, almost 2 weeks at one time. It took him a while to get back out there. We tried to get him to play, could never really get healthy. It continued to bother him. It would be worse on Sunday, so we just weren't able to. We had to just kind of shut him down and get him back healthy again.
Take a medical red shirt this year?
Yeah, more than likely that's what's going to occur, yes.
Okay. Appreciate
that are very inconsistent, and a lot of little things. You practice something, and all of a sudden they move a little bit. Our guys don't adjust very well. So part of it's a combination of that. It's that we're probably trying to make things as simple for the back end. I've got that guy, as opposed to I have this area based on what this guy does. And we're taking the reading out of a lot of things, which some of those guys aren't ready yet from that standpoint.
Do you have some guys
this year? I mean, is that something you haven't dealt with in a while here?
Yeah, I mean, you think when you look at all who we're playing with right now, and when you lose 2 really good players, in the back end, and then we've been scrambling at the rover spot since really day 1 of camp, and then you lose Kendall, and then then next thing you know, you're playing with a bunch of freshmen back there, that you had 15 days of practice in the spring, and but just are not ready to handle a lot of the adjustments and things that we need to make game day.
Do you have is there a level of athleticism in some of those second guys, the linebackers, the secondary, that allows you to do more blitzing because of?
Well, we're doing it, like I just said, we're doing it because of it helps them. Those guys are not having to read a bunch of stuff. They're playing, and we're playing man coverage so they can get lined up and hopefully get lined up and play. You know, as much as anything, rather than, okay, if this guy releases here, I've got to take the, you know, just what I said with those zones and that type of thing. So it's just all goes back to base fundamentals that a lot of these guys were second, even third team guys going into camp, you know, so.
After watching the film, how would you evaluate both Andrew and Deon's play against Duke?
Deon played really well. I think Andrew was okay. You know, he was okay. I thought they did a nice job. You know, they ran a quarterback draw out of a certain look. You know, what we were doing, what they were doing was trying to keep our edge guys from folding back inside, who was responsible for folding back in. But, you know, the quarterback draw didn't beat us. You know, the speed option beat us when we busted an assignment. You know, it was a pass. On their first drive, you know, it was a pass that beat us. It was a busted assignment. So those are the things that beat us. You know, but. You know, Deon played really well. He had one penalty I'm sure he'd like to have back, you know, one play, but, you know, he played really well.
A few weeks back, Coach Beamer mentioned getting Tremaine some more playing time. Do you see them, or Tremaine or even Carson, pushing for playing time, or are they kind of still behind the walls?
You know, they're still behind it. You know, right now, you know, we put in we got a couple defenses that were, it's you know, a staple for us, but, you know, Tremaine hasn't run it yet. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And, so that's kind of where we are with not just Tremaine. It's kind of the same situation with some of the back end guys. So that's the frustrating part from a coaching standpoint. That, you know, we're limited with what we're doing right now, and that's not us. You know?
What do you see from Boston College? Obviously, they struggled offensively.
Yeah, they're probably a lot like us in some ways, done defensively. You know, pretty decent up front. They've had injuries at their quarterback spot and running back spot, and. You know, they're trying to find some answers and find what's best fits them and their personnel. And, you know, they're dynamic on defense and really trying not to turn it over and play for the opponent on offense right now and being opportunistic. But they're still big, physical, getting into the multiple tight ends or, you know, multiple linemen and that type of thing. And, you know, we've got traditionally they're one of the better offensive lines and that we play year in, year out, and they're new. All of them are new from, you know, last year, but now they've got, you know, 8 games under their belt, and you see a group that's starting to gel and very physical.
It seems like it's always a pretty physical game. You guys play them.
Yeah, it's always a physical game, no matter what. Every game is physical, but their O-line and how they just go straight down here, their power plays, their counter plays. It's just mostly we just got to read our keys, fill gaps, and like Coach Foster was talking about, don't stick our nose in the wrong gap. As soon as that happens, there's a play that we don't want, so we just got to do our keys and just go out there and do our assignments right.
I know you guys aren't the biggest defense, sort of built for speed. Is that a challenge going against an offense that's sort of a little bit bigger like this?
I mean, yeah, most definitely, because if you got speed, you can take the advantage over something else that you lack. So knowing that we got younger kids in the back, I mean, it's always good getting younger kids in. So next year they know like a few plays, but definitely lacking the speed. Just knowing that we gotta do more on something else, like doing our key reads, focusing on the balls, snap counts, and all that. But knowing that we gotta do that, we just gotta definitely work extra harder. That's all it is.
Game, but like Coach said, they're waiting on that one play where you're not in your gap and they're going to hit it and they're going to make you pay for it. So as long as we're fundamentally sound and we wrap up, man, it's not a problem.
I don't know if you heard Coach Foster, but I was asking him about blitz packages, and he was saying sometimes it's about simplifying things for the secondary. What do you see in terms of what you guys have adjusted defensively to maybe take some pressure off the back end?
Yeah, it's just that, simplifying the plan a little bit so that, you know, their mind's not tying up their feet and they can go be ballers when they trust in what they do and they can react quick. And, you know, I've seen those guys make, you know, crazy plays. You can see it down the line. They're going to be nasty, but you just got to take care of them, build their confidence, and, you know, they'll return the favor soon enough.
You need to win 3 of the last 4 now to get back to being bowl eligible. Do you believe this team can do that?
Oh, yeah, of course I believe it, but, you know what I mean, I think we get tripped up in looking at the finish line and not taking care of the process leading up to that. You know, put one foot in front of the other and take care of business. And, I mean, I feel like we have the talent, obviously, to execute. We've just been underachieving, and we need to correct that and get back on.
Obviously, everyone's a little frustrated, but how would you quantify the kind of the mood in the locker room right now?
I think guys are in good spirits, but one thing I can say is we have a lot of competitors. When you keep taking losses like that, it eats at your pride. A lot of these guys come from winning programs, and we don't want to be the group, that has to have our head down and know that we let that streak get away. That streak's older than me, and we take a lot of pride in putting that together every year, making this a great program for Coach Beamer, because he takes a lot of shit, excuse my language, that he shouldn't have to take, and we feel for him, and we want to win for him. I came here 5 years ago because that was the guy I wanted to play for, and I feel like that, and I feel like he is fully capable of leading this program.
As a senior leader, do you feel the need to say anything different at this point than you have been saying?
No, I think it's time to lead by example. We've got about 3 or 4 games left. What are you saving it for? What are you not going out there and giving everything for? I mean, there's no turning back after this point. So, just cherish these moments and make them great moments. We can write the end of this story. It doesn't have to play out, the way it's kind of falling right now. We can correct these things in these last couple of games and get it right.
Foster was up here and he was talking about how you guys have tried to make things a little easier on the young guys in the secondary. What do you see in terms of what you guys are doing defensively to maybe take some pressure off those guys?
I actually didn't notice that we are. Whoever's back there, I trust them. It doesn't matter if they're young or old. We're still going to play the same. Still approach it with the same mindset. So.
Bub was also talking about using more blitz, so those guys are man-to-man more. Do you like that role? Do you like being brought on blitzes?
Yeah, I do. It's fun. You get a chance to make the quarterback, just pressure the quarterback and potentially throw a pick or get a sack. So it's usually, when we have game plans like that, it's usually a win-win for us when we send blitzes.
You and Deon, do you have the skill set that, are you guys good blitzers, would you say?
Yeah, I would say we're pretty good blitzers. Deon's mostly the blitzer. I usually add, which is like secondary blitz, just based off of my man. If he blocks it, I'll add, and I'll drop back into coverage if he goes out. So it all depends on what my man does, but usually I get some good pressure with the ads. So. I enjoy that role as well.
Deon was talking about how he has class on Wednesdays. He's not out there for practice. Is that difficult from a game planning perspective, not to have him out there one day a week?
No, I think it's all right. I think it's good because it gives the younger guys, the younger backers, a chance to step up and get some reps. Because everyone's a play away from being that guy. So the younger backers, it's good for them to get those reps. Deon. He's there for meetings, so it's not like he's really missing anything except for actual reps that we go through on Thursday anyway. So, I don't see a problem with it. Deon's going to be all right.
We didn't have a chance to talk to you after the game. What happened on that 2-point conversion at the end? It looked like you were right there, and he kind of ducked back to the inside on it.
Yeah, I kind of took a bad angle on it, and I just lost my feet and slipped when he just cut it up inside. He started to slow down, and I should have started to break down as well. But he just hit it inside of me, and I thought I had some help in there as well, but it's history from there. I really thought it was just my fault after I slipped. So it was my play to make. Could have made the play, but ended up losing my feet. So it's over now. You got to move on.
You guys have to win 3 of the next. What have you seen from this offense? Seemed like it was pretty productive Saturday. What was going well for you guys?
Well, we played together. That was one thing that we stressed this last week was no matter what happens, keep your poise of confidence, and we're going to play together. Fortunately, it didn't work out, but we got a new week.
We haven't seen you in a little while, but there was that rough 7-sack game. Mm-hmm. How would you evaluate your season? Has it been up and down, or?
Well, personally, yes, been up and down. Pitt game was definitely my worst game, but that's over. It's behind us. Now we got Boston College.
I noticed that you favorited some of the tweets after that Pitt game that referenced your play. Did you disagree? Was that motivation? How do you use that?
That was definitely motivation. Anytime you play bad, you want to get yourself up and get ready to go, and that was definitely motivation.
Do you feel like you've responded since that game? Have you?
Well, I feel like we all have as a group. Like I said, playing together, that was something that we stressed last week, and I feel like offensive line played together as a group last week.
Now that Travon is definitely your A-back back there, do you notice him in these last 3 games, averaged 19 carries, 112 yards a game? Do you notice him hitting holes harder when you guys open them, or is there something different about him now he's able to sort of establish a rhythm?
Oh, well, we definitely noticed Travon McMillian is a great back. And, all of them are great, and we knew that in preseason camp that he was going to be explosive, and through his workouts and work ethics, we knew that he was going to have a big year. But, yeah, he's definitely came along well and running the ball well.
This BC defensive front seems like it's given a lot of teams trouble this year. How much of a challenge is it to face them, and what's unique that they do?
It's always a challenge, playing a team like, Boston College. Since I've been here, they've always had good players, good defensive ends, good tackles, and, just a lot of shifts and movements that we have to get ready for. And we did a great job today picking stuff up, so we got Boston College this week.
Is this a game where Sunday you kind of feel it? I mean, is it that physical of a game?
Oh, it's gonna be a physical. It's gonna be a fist fight, like our coach says every game. It's gonna be a fist fight, and we know they got a great defense, and I feel like we got a great offensive line, so we're gonna be able to pick it up.
Describe this haircut.
Say what?
How do you describe this hairstyle that you got here?
Oh, none. My cousin just came up this weekend and braided it for me. So that's all it is.
What was it that made you so effective in this past game where maybe defenses have been able to take you away a little bit in some other weeks?
Going from this past game, Duke, they were one of the few teams that they play a lot of man-to-man, and we just called the right plays at the right time. I mean, they made a lot of they were a scheming defense. They made a lot of smart calls. Like if we had check a play and change the play, they would also change the play, and they mess us up. But we was doing things to counter that at the same time. Where we would have I don't even talk about it, but it presented a lot of matchups. Like I said, and the coach just had confidence in me, and Brewer was back, and everything was going for us.
How does having Brewer back kind of affect you? It seems like there's more of a downfield passing game in the game plan with him in there.
Definitely, with Brewer in there, we're going more in the air with Brewer. Obviously, Miley brings the threat of running the ball, and with Michael, he's just a quarterback, and then he's a game changer. He knows how to manage the game, and so that's what I like most about him. And I mean, you definitely have confidence in a guy like that. I mean, he's put out a lot of big wins for us. I mean, I'm always backing him.
Do you say to him, if you're ever in trouble, just throw it up, just throw it way high in the air and I can go up and get it?
Yeah, I feel like me and him got that connection, and I say slick little stuff like that to him, and him and Brendan, and I think me and Michael, we click a whole lot. We went through all last season together, all summer workouts and all the camp together. It's great just having him back.
It looked like it was kind of the same play on the touchdown that he just barely missed you on that one. Was that a similar play?
It wasn't the same play.
Okay.
Similar. It was very similar. It was just a mishap on both ends. It wasn't just him, but like you said, when it came down to it, end of the game, we needed that play. That was a big play we needed, and I'm just glad he had confidence in me to throw it to me.
Body language and, make a certain cut or see certain things that some backs can't see. So, I just use my God-given talents and just, display them out there.
What's it feel like after you get 24 carries and a half in overtimes? What was Sunday like for you? Were you hurting or?
No, I was fine. I was definitely fine out there. I can get 25 to 30 carries a game. I want to show the coaches that I could do that. I know I could do that. 25
to 30 carries a game. You got 29 in that game, but 24 and a half in overtime seems like a lot. There was never a time when you were gassed or feeling it at all, or
No, I mean, I took one shot where, like, I got a little banged up a little bit, but I mean, that happens here and there because you're playing football. But other than that, I feel like I could definitely keep getting more carries.
What happened at halftime? I think you only had 5 carries in the first half. Did they tell you anything differently at halftime? Did you go into the second half expecting to shoulder the load like that?
They told me at halftime that they're gonna, count on the run a lot more and everything. So I was definitely ready when my number was called. I'm just gonna keep trying to produce each and every week.
I know we've asked you a lot this year about running backs getting into a rhythm. Do you feel like you're in a rhythm now, 29 carries in a game, and it seems like your numbers are going up each game?
Yeah, I'm just going to keep continuing to get better each and every week, keep learning from a pass protection standpoint and everything, and just keep coming along.
when you rip off a game like you had this past weekend, do any of the old backs or anybody, like I'm sure KJ came around and said something to you, do guys come up to you, or do you get contact from any old Tech backs who get in touch with you after a game like that and congratulate you or anything, or what?
Definitely KJ. He gives me advice about things and everything, and it's good to have his perspective on things because we kind of similar running style and
That's
everything.
what I thought.
So he definitely calls me up after every game, telling me what I should have done in certain situations and stuff like that to help me out since I'm new to the position and everything. But I'm coming along, and I'm just going to keep trying to get better every week.